If you want to understand how to turn your body's own defenses against cancer cells without a single prescription, do not look at the pharmacy. Look at what happens when you simply stop eating for 72 hours. Most people think fasting is just about weight loss, that going without food for 3 days sounds extreme, maybe even dangerous, and that cancer cells are unstoppable once they take hold. But after 17 years in internal medicine and watching my own father lose his battle with colon cancer, I have discovered something that challenges everything I was taught in medical school. A 72-hour fast can literally program cancer cells to self-destruct while simultaneously rebuilding your immune system's ability to hunt them down, not slow their growth, not shrink them slightly. Actually trigger a built-in suicide mechanism that every cancer cell carries but rarely activates. Hi, I am Dr. Miller. I am an internal medicine physician. And I need to tell you something personal that shapes everything on this channel. 5 years ago, I lost my father to colon cancer. He was 62 years old. He was my mentor, my hero, the reason I became a doctor. And despite having a son in medicine, despite all my training, I missed it. We caught his cancer too late. What I have learned since, what I have spent every day researching, is that there were signals. There were interventions. There were things we could have done differently. This channel exists because I refuse to let other families experience what mine did. If you have a family history of cancer, if you have lost someone you love, if you are terrified that your genes are a ticking time bomb, I understand. I am on this journey with you. In this video, I am going to show you exactly what happens in your body during a 72-hour fast at the cellular level. We will explore the 3 mechanisms that make cancer cells vulnerable during fasting, the research from USC and Memorial Sloan Kettering that is changing how we think about cancer prevention, and most importantly, the exact protocol for safely executing this fast, who should do it, who absolutely should not, and what to expect hour by hour. Quick personal favor. I see messages from viewers who have watched several videos and didn't realize they weren't subscribed. This channel is specifically for people with a family history of cancer, a community I wish didn't need to exist, but I am honored to serve. Could you double-check that subscribe button right now? It is free, takes 2 seconds, and it helps this information reach more families who desperately need it. Let me start by explaining something fundamental that changed how I think about cancer. Every single day, cells in your body become cancerous. This is normal biology. With 40 trillion cells constantly dividing, copy errors happen. Some of those errors create cells that grow uncontrollably, technically, cancer cells. But your body has systems to handle this. The problem is that modern life constantly suppresses these defense systems while simultaneously feeding cancer cells exactly what they need to survive. High insulin levels, elevated IGF-1, constant nutrient availability, and chronic inflammation. We are creating the perfect storm, weakened defenses and well-fed cancer cells. Here is where the 72-hour fast becomes remarkable. It flips this equation entirely. During prolonged fasting, 3 distinct mechanisms activate that do not occur during normal eating or even short fasts. Mechanism 1 is the differential stress response. This is the most counterintuitive concept, so stay with me. When you fast for 72 hours, normal cells detect the absence of nutrients and enter a maintenance mode, a protected state where they slow down, conserve energy, and become highly resistant to stress. But cancer cells cannot do this. Because of their genetic mutations, cancer cells are locked into growth mode. They cannot downshift. They continue demanding resources even when resources are not available. This creates a fundamental vulnerability. Research from Dr. Walter Longo's lab at USC showed that when you expose both normal cells and cancer cells to the same stress, whether that is fasting or chemotherapy, normal cells survive while cancer cells die. In animal studies, mice that fasted for 48 to 72 hours before chemotherapy had dramatically fewer side effects, while the chemotherapy was actually more effective against their tumors. Mechanism 2 is autophagy activation. This is your cell's internal recycling and cleanup system. During normal eating, autophagy runs at low levels. But during fasting, especially after 24 to 48 hours, autophagy dramatically increases. Your cells begin breaking down and recycling damaged components, clearing out dysfunctional mitochondria and damaged DNA that could lead to cancer. Research published in Nature Cell Biology demonstrated that autophagy can actually target pre-cancerous cells for elimination. A study from 2022 showed that fasting-induced autophagy reduced tumor incidence in animal models by up to 45% through this mechanism alone. Mechanism 3 is immune system regeneration. A groundbreaking study from Memorial Sloan Kettering, published in June 2024, showed that fasting reprograms your immune system's natural killer cells. Normally, these specialized cells struggle in the hostile environment around tumors. But the research found that fasting changes their metabolism, making them efficient at using fat for fuel instead of glucose, allowing them to thrive and destroy cancer cells. Even more remarkable, during prolonged fasting, your body breaks down old immune cells and rebuilds them from stem cells. A study from USC found that a 72-hour fast essentially gives you a fresher, more capable immune army. Then there is the IGF-1 connection. Insulin-like growth factor 1 is a hormone that promotes cell growth. High levels are strongly linked to increased cancer risk. A 72-hour fast can reduce these levels by up to 70%. This is not a small change. It is a massive hormonal shift that starves cancer cells of their primary growth signals while your normal cells remain protected. Let me walk you through the key studies. First, a 2016 clinical study followed 18 cancer patients who fasted before chemotherapy. Those who fasted for 72 hours had significantly fewer side effects like fatigue and nausea compared to those who fasted for only 24 hours. Second, animal studies have shown that cyclic fasting was as effective as certain chemotherapy drugs in some models. Now, I need to be clear, most of this research is preclinical or in early human trials. We need more large-scale human studies before we can definitively say how effective this is for prevention in healthy people. But the mechanism is sound and it costs nothing. So how do you actually do this? You should consider this if you are in good health and want additional protection due to family history. You should not do this if you have a history of eating disorders, are pregnant, or are a type 1 diabetic without strict medical supervision. Also, anyone under 18 or over 75 should seek medical clearance. The protocol starts days before the fast. Reduce your carbohydrate intake gradually for 2 to 3 days to help your body transition to fat burning. During the fast, drink water only, at least 2 to 3 liters daily. Black coffee and plain tea are okay, but no calories and no supplements unless medically necessary. Breaking the fast is critical. Do not break a 72-hour fast with a large meal. Start with bone broth or a small portion of cooked vegetables. Wait 2 to 3 hours before eating more. Here is what to expect hour by hour. From 0 to 12 hours, your insulin drops. From 12 to 24 hours, ketosis begins and you may feel mild fatigue. From 24 to 36 hours, autophagy increases and you often feel clearer mentally. From 36 to 48 hours, peak autophagy and immune reset begins. Between 48 and 72 hours, you enter full stress resistance mode. You might feel some weakness, but your mind will be surprisingly sharp. My pro tips from 17 years of practice are simple. First, start smaller if you have never fasted. Try 16-hour intermittent fasting first, then 24, then build up. Second, time it right. Start in the evening after dinner so you sleep through a large portion of the first and third days. Third, stay busy to keep your mind off food. Fourth, have support and tell someone what you are doing. If you have cancer and are in active treatment, you must coordinate this with your oncologist. Here is the summary. A 72-hour fast triggers the differential stress response, peaks autophagy, and reprograms your natural killer cells. It removes up to 70% of the IGF-1 growth signal. Done 2 to 4 times yearly, this is a powerful way to keep your finger off the trigger. I watched my father die from a disease that might have been preventable. I would do anything to go back and share this with him. I cannot change the past, but I can share it with you. Your genes load the gun. Lifestyle pulls the trigger. We are in this together. This is Dr. Miller. I will see you in the next video.